Before we go on with the 60-digit cipher and inserting it into more complex geometry, I want to address a serious problem with the academic world. As many of you who have been following me or watched my previous videos know, a big part of my goal in making these videos was to get this information to mathematical scholars so that they may study it in depth and maybe help us all learn more about this incredible cipher. In trying to accomplish just that, I joined an online mathematics group recently. You will find their address in the video description below. I joined their group and I posted a link to the first YouTube video explaining the 60-digit cipher. In the group, you have to tag the relevance of your post to any mathematical fields. I chose the Fibonacci series, prime numbers, Lucas numbers, and sequences as my tags. As anyone who has watched the first video knows, these are all relevant to the discovery. Now, you must bear in mind that these are not online trolls in this group. These are mathematicians and math scholars. These are educated people who have studied mathematics. I don't know about you, but I have always imagined mathematicians to be people who are curious about the nature of our world, people who seek answers to deeper questions, people with imagination and a sense of wonder. Once I showed them the 60-digit cipher, you would expect intelligent, mathematically inclined people to act in a certain way. I thought some of them would study the 60-digit cipher in order to first establish if my math was right and that I didn't simply manufacture that circle of 60 numbers out of thin air. On learning that it is in fact true, I expected a mathematician to be fascinated by the beauty of this circle of 60 numbers. It is truly elegant and beautiful in a way that maybe only a real mathematician could probably understand. I did not expect anyone to attribute any greater meaning to the cipher or to believe as I believe that it is in fact proof of intelligent design. But at the very least, I expected a curious mathematical mind to be amazed by the mathematical symmetry on display. If you were a true scholar with an inquisitive, free-thinking mind, seeking answers to the bigger questions in the universe, and I showed you this circle of 60 numbers and pointed out all of those connections to the Fibonacci sequence, Lucas numbers, and prime numbers, and then I showed you the second video where I connect two of those circles together, what would your immediate reaction be? I can tell you what mine would be. If you had any real ability to think for yourself and you were truly curious, you would immediately wonder what would happen if you then connect three of those circles together, or four, or five, or any number of them. You would wonder what other information could be hiding in this cipher. Your mind and your imagination would be soaring and burning with new questions. None of these mathematicians asked me any of that. Let me tell you what the response from this mathematics group was, and to be fair, I cannot generalize on everyone in the group, but this was my experience. First of all, someone messaged me to say that this is garbled nonsense. Remember, this is a student of mathematics. He looked at that circle of 60 numbers and immediately concluded that it is nonsense. He didn't test the mathematics or give any mathematical response. Within 5 minutes, he messaged to pronounce that it is nonsense. I think he clicked dislike on the YouTube video and left a comment just to be sure his opinion was clear. These are the great thinkers I have been trying to reach all this time. Within 10 minutes, the admin of this mathematics group removed my thread from the group, saying that it is off topic. Remember, the tags I chose were Fibonacci series, Lucas numbers, and prime numbers. You might want to watch the first video again. I had to laugh. You may not know me very well, but I never give up. I think that is in fact why I found this cipher in the first place. I kept searching. Our history is full of closed-minded people who have tried to repress any new ideas. I reposted my thread and dared them to take it down again. To their credit, the post is still up but on hold. If you don't have time to watch the video, or maybe you think it is not relevant to you, you don't have to watch it. But you don't immediately declare that it is nonsense and then try to repress it and call yourself a scholar or a free thinker. Any real mathematician, in fact, any person with any sense of wonder and imagination, can look at that circle of 60 numbers and be amazed and intrigued by what it is doing. You may eventually conclude that it is simply a coincidence. That is your free right. You don't have to believe what I believe. But I can guarantee you it is not nonsense. A true scholar or intelligent mind, when shown one of those circles, and then two of them, would immediately wonder what would happen if you connected three or more of them together. This is the difference between artificial intelligence, that's the intelligence that you are programmed with in school or by a programmer, and superintelligence, the kind of intelligence that sets your mind and your imagination free. This is why none of them could think to put those 60 numbers on the circumference of a circle in the first place. They could not make that leap of imagination and free thought. Some people can only live inside their little box where anything new or different is alien and nonsense. That is fine. What is not acceptable is trying to control what others can see. Don't get me wrong. These are brilliant people. They can do all the calculations to take your rocket to Mars. Do you know what will happen to you on Mars? You will eventually die like we do here on Earth. Being a human calculator is not the same as knowledge and free thinking. If you are intrigued and curious, I will show you what happens when we connect more of these building blocks together. Believe me, it is mathematically beautiful. Great mathematicians and thinkers like Leonardo Fibonacci himself would have been stunned. Please watch my next video.